Hello, everyone, and welcome to Indiana Golf Magazine. I'm Brian Hammonds. July was another busy month tournament-wise, featuring the biggest event Indiana has to offer, the Indiana Open, which was played at the French Lick Resort this year. And that is this month's top story, brought to you by the Chariot Automotive Group. Two-time Indiana Open champion Michael Davin began the final round at the Ross course at French Lick with a whopping 7-shot lead at 10 under par. But he got off to a shaky start. After a lost ball off the first tee, he made double bogey to drop to 8 under. Michael's playing competitor, Eric Steger, tried to make it interesting. He made birdies on 2 and 3, and just like that, the lead was down to 4. Davin made only 2 birdies all day, but this one at 16 was a big one, maintaining his comfortable lead, which he needed. He made a double bogey at the last, but still escaped with a 2-shot win, his 3rd Indiana Open title.
It's awesome. This is the 3rd time. I'm not playing as much as I used to. I've started teaching, and I really enjoy doing that, but played for 10 years competitively and traveled all over and had some success, but maybe not the success that I wanted. So to get this win of not playing a ton this year is awesome. I really like the way that I played yesterday. I kind of felt like, man, I could still do this, but it's just good to get a win. It's always hard to win. So
after shooting 66 in the first 2 rounds, Davin shoots a 4 over 74 in the final round to win by 2 over 2022 champion Seth Fair, who had the low final round with a 66. Eric Steger shot 3 over on the back 9 to end up tied for 3rd with Peyton Snowberger. Last year's winner, Nick Bienz, ties for 5th, along with Alex Caesar, who was the low amateur. Well, as you saw, Nick Bienz did not successfully defend his title at the Indiana Open, but that certainly doesn't damper what has been a memorable summer for Nick. By now, you know his story. Nick was caught nervously drinking beers by Monday Q Info's Ryan French, thinking he had Monday qualified into the PGA Tour's Rocket Mortgage Classic, only to find out he was in a playoff. After 8 agonizing holes, he made it through, capturing national attention.
I never expected my name to be a trending topic in the sports world on social media, so I think that was where it got crazy. And obviously Ryan from Monday Q, I have him to thank for all of it, because there's so many dominoes that had to fall exactly how they did, otherwise the story doesn't blow up. And I'm still playing in the event, but I don't get all the notoriety from it, because I have to play well in the pre-qualifier, check that box. I have to play well on the Monday. He has to catch me sitting there eating lunch and drinking beers with my playing partners, and then it has to be a long playoff for everybody to kind of tag along to it. So just everything that ended up happening was just life-changing and a dream come true.
Nick was a guest on the Golf Channel. He was on the Pat McAfee Show. Countless interviews. He was arguably the most famous golfer on the planet for a few days. He missed the cut at the Rocket Mortgage, but learned a lot about his game and himself.
Confidence-wise, it showed me that I didn't play that well, and I still wasn't miles away from where I should be. So it was a good learning experience to show, A, I'm good enough to compete at that level if I play well, but B, it just, the biggest difference is the rough out there. There's nowhere in the state of Indiana I could have practiced with rough that length leading up to it. That would be the one takeaway, and the only other one would be just height. Those guys hit it so high out there. Even out here, I'm not by any means a low ball hitter. I would say I'm actually probably one of the higher ones out here in our field this week. But out there, I was probably bottom 10% in terms of height on irons, drivers, everything. It's nothing that I can't change to try to adapt to. It's just something that I wasn't prepared for at that point. You can't really change your golf swing on Tuesday of a PGA Tour event. At least no one would recommend that.
Even with the missed cut, Nick is hopeful that other opportunities are on the horizon.
Nothing's official yet, but the tournament director and some of the guys from the PGA Tour have said, hey, expect phone calls by the end of the year. Your story was big enough and you held your own enough that we expect you to have maybe not a sponsor's invite into like an elevated event or another high-end PGA Tour event, but they said you could get a phone call for an opposite field PGA Tour event, some Corn Ferry events, and they want you to give you an opportunity, or some PGA Tour Americas now. So nothing officially yet. It really just kind of, it opened up other doors financially, just from, even just getting sponsored for a week out there. So I can now go play in other Mondays. I'll probably try to follow basically the PGA Tour Fall Series. I'll try to follow them the whole 8 weeks, I think it is. Just try to Monday into as many of those as I can.
And we will certainly be keeping an eye on Nick's playing opportunities moving forward. Another big event held in July was the Indiana Women's Amateur, played at the TPC at Woodland Trails in Yorktown, and it took extra holes to decide it. It was an all-Indiana University final group at the Women's Amateur. Junior-to-be Khloe Johnson began the final round with a 2-shot lead over teammate Maddie DeBeja, and 3 shots over Khloe's twin sister and fellow Hoosier Faith. It was DeBeja who made the early move. The Indiana Open champion birdied the par 5 second and then chipped in for birdie at the third to cut the lead to 1. The lead was still won after an hour and 33-minute weather delay, but it didn't deter Khloe. She birdied the 9th coming out of the delay to once again take a 2-shot lead. DeBeja once again cut it to 1 with a birdie at the par 5 15th. And then at 16, when Khloe Johnson made bogey, the two were tied at 11 under par. Both had birdie putts for the win at the 18th, but neither could convert, and we were headed to a playoff. On the second playoff hole, DeBeja had a par putt to extend the playoff, but missed. And Khloe Johnson wins the Indiana Women's Amateur.
It feels really good, coming back to Indiana for college last year and then coming to this tournament and winning it. It just makes me feel like I'm making Indiana proud again. In the last 2 groups we had 4 Indiana players, so that was really, really cool. And, I don't like beating my teammates, but it was good to see everyone play well this week.
With the win, Khloe Johnson qualifies for the U.S. Amateur in early August. DeBeja comes up short in her quest to become the first player to win the Indiana Open and the Amateur in the same year. Faith Johnson finishes third, 3 shots back. Westfield's Samantha Brown has the low final round, a 67, to finish alone in 4th. Last year's winner, Nick Bienz, finishes 5th. In junior golf, the boys' Indiana Junior PGA Championship was held at the Rock Hollow Golf Club, and Silas Harrer of Middlebury wins by 1 over Mac Myers and Will Harvey. Eli Rowland and Thomas Klinker both made nice final round moves, both shooting 68. Here's a look at the winners at the Age Group Championship, which was held at the French Lick Resort. In the boys' division, the winners were Happy Gilmore, Luke Johnson, Jackson Calhoun, Braden Worthington, Landon Trop, Alex Cook, Gavin Davis, and Luke Moore. For the girls, winners were Michaela Headley, Paige Giovenco, Josie Kelly, Rowan Pies, Taylor Snively, Charlotte Gilliam, Camley Whitfield, and Taylor Ross. Congratulations to all the winners. Both the Age Group Championship and the Indiana Open were played at the French Lick Resort. And starting this fall, there will be a new course on property, the Sand Creek Course, a lighted 9-hole par 3 course.
We've noted a long time ago that the short course was going to become popular. And, we felt that it will help get new players to the game and help create another recreational experience here at the resort. So we started working on that 2 or 3 years back, really, with the plans. And finally, this past winter, we started the course there near the Valley Links driving range. And currently coming along, we're hoping for a fall opening.
For those familiar with the Ross and Dye courses at French Lick, you will notice some similarities.
The thought behind it was to create sort of a mini replica of some of the Ross and some of the Dye holes. So you'll see the volcano bunkers like the Dye has, and you'll see some green contours like the Ross has, and you'll see other little features like the lining of the water feature with the sandstone and that. So now the longest hole will be about 93 yards and the shortest one about 45 yards.
If it's at French Lick, you know the Sand Creek course will be top-notch. And it'll be an inexpensive way to get introduced to the game or just to sharpen your short game.
We've kicked around $45, and that includes a set of clubs, a short set with four irons or 3 irons and a putter and a sleeve of golf balls. So $45 gets you 18 holes. You know, you can play more if you'd like.
Just another good reason to head to the French Lick Resort and enjoy some great golf. Now, if you're going to have success on the French Lick courses, you have to be able to control your speed on the greens. And that's the focus of this month's Correct to Compete Tip of the Month.
So today's focus is on putting. So I have brought out an elevated string line with some beads on it. And I also created a white line, just again using baby powder. It's good on the surface, it's good on greens or fairways, so you don't have to worry about tearing up any grass or anything. The beads, so the elevated string line, couple of things. So variables that we can control in putting. So we want to be able to control our speed. So how far back the putter swings and how far through with a constant rate of acceleration. Can we get it on line? So white line, elevated string line. The elevated string line is simply a chalk line that you can get at some place like Lowe's or Menards, 2 tent stakes and some beads. So it creates a nice visual. Can we start it on the line? Plus with the beads, I'm going to be able to focus on how far back the putter goes to how far through the putter goes. And eventually I'll know that at my home golf course, what a 15-footer, a 20-footer, what a 25-footer feels like. So then when I go to another facility, I can quickly learn how to gauge speed on the greens. So again, elevated string line, working on some distance control here, putter back, putter through, we're back to yellow, through to blue, and we roll it. You can reach me here at Correct to Compete here in town. Correct to Compete is our indoor facility. We're open year-round, pretty much sun up to sundown, and not only golf swing, but fitness as well. Thank you.
Some big events are on the calendar in August. The PGA Senior Professional Championship is August 5th and 6th at Pine Valley in Fort Wayne. The Senior and Super Senior Amateur will be played at the Royal Highlands Golf Club August 8th and 9th. The IGA Mid-Am is the 13th and 14th at Old Oakland, and the PGA Professional Championship is the 26th and 27th at the Woodland Country Club. The top 4 finishers there will qualify for the 2025 PGA Professional National Championship. And that will do it for this episode. I'm Brian Hammonds. Join us again next month for Indiana Golf Magazine.